morning.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-ma-gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And confirmed by management, legendary rock guitarist Jakey Lee from Ozzy Osbourne, Badlands, Red Dragon Cartel, Mickey Rat, was shot multiple times early in the morning Tuesday, October 15th, today in Las Vegas, Nevada streets, during a Nevada street shooting. Lee is fully conscious and doing well in an intensive care unit at a Las Vegas hospital. He is expected to fully recover, which is awesome. Las Vegas authorities believe the shooting was completely random and occurred while Lee took his dog out for a walk in the early morning hours. As the incident is under police investigation, no further comments will be forthcoming. Lee and his family appreciate respecting their privacy at this time. Lee, who also tapped by Ozzy Osbourne to replace the late Randy Rhoads in the singer solo band, played on two Ozzy records, the 1983 Bark at the Moon and the 1986 The Ultimate Sin. Yeah, wow. Man, multiple times, not just one time, multiple times Jakey Lee was shot. And he's in intensive care, man, so I am so happy that he's going to fully recover, but I am so sad of the pain the guy must be going through. Jesus, to be shot multiple times, I wonder where. Maybe the arm, the leg or something, it didn't hit no vital organs or veins that, could be fatal. Wow, I'm totally shocked by this. I just did a story on Jake this past Sunday, on Black Sabbath Sunday, and now this happens 2 days later, and I'm shocked, and I'm really, I hope for the best. I hope he recovers soon. I hope he's not in too much pain. I love Jakey Lee. And my second favorite guitar player in Ozzy. And I also there was going to be a news report I was going to put up tonight of Alex Van Halen talking about it was Dave's fault because he was the one to blame for the Van Halen tribute not to happen. But I pushed it for Friday because after that story broke, then the next story came out where it said Ozzy Osbourne confirmed that he was once approached by the Van Halen brothers about making music together. And in the first interview since Eddie Van Halen's 2020 passing, Alex Van Halen revealed that Ozzy Osbourne and Chris Cornell were both under consideration to front Van Halen at different times when the band was in between singers. While speaking with Rolling Stone to promote his new book, Brothers, to set for release October 22nd, Alex said Osbourne was approached in 2001, 2 years after Gary Cherone exit from Van Halen, and prior to Sammy Belcher's return to the disastrous 2003 tour. According to the drummer, he and Eddie met with Black Sabbath frontman's wife and manager, Sharon Osbourne, to discuss the potential album with Ozzy as lead singer. But the plan was abandoned when the Osbournes family launched their groundbreaking MTV reality show, The Osbournes. When you get a dog, Alex says, you don't expect it to be a cat. When you get an Ozzy, you get Ozzy. Play the music he'll sing, and it's going to be great. When contacted by Rolling Stone, Ozzy confirmed the story, telling the magazine, yes, we were discussing it. It is something that it had to come to fruition. Would have been phenomenal. Eddie and Alex were great friends of mine for a long time, and it's a regret of mine that we never got it together. The Osbournes got in the way of creating new music at the time, unfortunately. Alex couldn't remember the exact time where Cornell came into the picture, but it wasn't long before Soundgarden's singer's death in 2017. Recalling a jam session between him, Eddie, and Chris, Alex said, Chris was in a very fragile part of his life, so to speak. I got behind the drums and he started playing bass and we played for 45 minutes. This motherfucker got so into it. He started bleeding. I said, this is the man you want. And then he died. So yeah. About this Chris Cornell, I don't think would have been good for Van Halen. I think Ozzy would have been good. See, I don't think Van Halen works with a great singer. But I do feel Dave and Ozzy are great singers, but in an organic, human way. Chris Cornell, come on. Let's be serious here. The guy was superhuman. And I don't think having a superhuman voice with a superhuman guitar player works. I just don't think so. I mean, not in the Van Halen way. Yes, I know great singers work with other guitar players, but no, it just doesn't work with... I don't think Gary Sharon was a bad singer. I'm not a fan, but he's not a bad singer. It just doesn't work. A lot of you think Sammy Belcher is a great singer. Well, it didn't work, man. I mean, it worked back then, but the future, everybody woke up. Like, I will bring this up in the Alex saying David Lee Roth screwed up the tribute show. Alex says in that interview that really the only Van Halen was with Dave. He said that was the essential one with magic. It was with Dave, Eddie, he even mentions Michael Anthony, and myself. Boy, I can't agree with him more on that, huh? So yeah, I figure I'd talk about that with this news story. I think I can cram 2 news stories on here. Hey, Jake got shot multiple times and he's going to fully recover. He's in intensive care, but he's aware and everything. So what else more can I add to that except, come on, Jake, I hope you don't suffer long. I hope for a fully fast recovery. You rule, right? And Alex rules as well for finally waking up and saying that Van Halen was really with Dave. The magic, that was with Dave. In other words, Sammy Belcher sucks. Another quick thing is that Ozzy spoke about when Van Halen opened for Black Sabbath in 1978 on the European leg of the latter band's Never Say Die tour. Yeah, they also toured the U.S. Ozzy said, I just couldn't believe it. Eddie Van Halen made it look so fucking easy. They outshone us. They blew us off the stage. Eddie was a great guy. He was always nice to me. He was a lovely man to be around. And Alex Van Halen. I took all of them down to my local pub, and that was fucking great. Ozzy previously discussed his memories of touring with Van Halen in October of 2022 on Revolver. He said at the time that Eddie Van Halen was such a great guy, they came to our local pub and it was good fun. But David Lee Roth, he lost a couple nuts and bolts. When you meet him, it's like, what's wrong with him? He's like somewhere else, Oh man. Ozzy also discussed the supposed crosstown rivalry of Randy Rhoads, the first guitarist Ozzy worked with after Black Sabbath. He had with Eddie Van Halen. Ozzy said they were arch enemies. Randy didn't have a lot to say about Eddie. They were very, very similar guitar players. Eddie took that tapping thing to another level. Randy could do that, but he liked people like Leslie West. It amazes me that you get Eddie and you get Randy and you go, no one's ever going to top that. But there's a new thing right around every corner. And Rhoads' pre-Ozzy band, Quiet Riot, had been gigging on the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood, California at the same time as Van Halen, although both Rhoads and Van Halen later became some of the most influential guitar players in the 20th century, playing with a similar flair and incorporating finger tapping into the fleet-fingered guitar solo. Eddie found commercial success before Randy Rhoads, due in part of the fact that Van Halen landed a record deal before Quiet Riot did. A real record deal, not Bobo record deal in Japan. Anyway, the rivals between Rhoads and Van Halen were explored in a documentary, Randy Rhoads, Reflection of a Guitar God, which was released in May 2022. The film contained archive audio of Van Halen discussing Rhoads, saying that he was one guitarist who was honest anyway, because he said everything he did, he learned from me. I don't think Randy's ever said that. Eddie said he was good, but I really don't think he did anything that I haven't done. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. I've copied some other people, God bless Eddie Van Halen, but I never remember hearing Eddie write something in the classical vein like Rhoads did. Rhoads had his own thing, man. But whatever. I don't think Eddie Van Halen really looked into Randy Rhoads. Probably just, the little tapping he did in Crazy Train and Flying High Again, and just came up with his conclusion there. But it's all right. Eddie can think what he wants. It didn't take away the fact that Randy Rhoads was extremely influential. Just as much as Eddie, really. So, whatever. Eddie can think what he wants. I disagree. But Eddie is the Lord of the Strings. King Edward is my favorite guitar player. And Randy Rhoads is right behind him. Anyway, there you go. That's it for the only news that matters today, Hey, Jake, man, get well soon. And yeah, Ozzy and Chris Cornell. What do you all think of that? Leave it in the comments below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. I would appreciate that. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so nevermore shall we see you again.